The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 16th day of September 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Maya Palacio. Oh, happy Monday, MP.
Man, happy Monday, Jamal.
Yeah. How are you feeling this Monday morning?
I feel like it was a pretty short weekend. Truthfully, felt like a short weekend.
Sounds like you were busy too. Yeah. No, I did quite a lot this weekend, MP, and I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. Thank you to everyone who was a part of, this was my first birthday in Bermuda in like 15 years or something, probably more. So it was good to be around a lot of different people and appreciate all the people. And actually, before I even get into that, big shout out to Traveling Charlie. She had a birthday yesterday, right? Another special September person. So she's always in the audience. So audience, give Traveling Charlie a big birthday shout out there. I got my eyes tested on Friday, man.
I think I remember seeing some pictures.
Yeah, Sancha wanted to be childish and take pictures and video of me. Those will not be going public, by the way. But yeah, I got my eye test, and very nice lady. Tia from On Site. I would recommend anyone reaching out to her. She was awesome. I mean, I didn't know all that went into an eye test. Apparently, I need assistance seeing. That's what she said. That's what I think. I trust. I think she's a nice person, but yeah, they said that I might need some assistance, Maya. So
I feel like you've known this for a while, Jamal.
Do you wear glasses?
Do not act shocked. Do not act shocked.
Do you wear glasses?
Only when I've been working on the computer for a long time. It's like the tinted ones so that I don't strain my eyes, so that I may not have to end up needing glasses later on.
Yeah. Apparently, I work on the computer a lot, so I think then. In fairness, though, I think the solution to not having glasses is just making everything bigger on screen. You know what I'm saying? Like that was what I was trying to tell her. Like I could just make the writing bigger, and then at night, it's these people with these LED lights that make it hard to drive, and then there's no lights anymore. Like lights always out somewhere. So anyway, folks, yeah, they told me I need some goggles. Getting up there, catching you all up, and I went to. I know you all was gonna laugh and be like, "No, I didn't," and so on, because I have a little two-year limit thing. But I went to church one Saturday. It was my sister's baptism, so I did go to attend church. So I know you all think, "Oh, he's such a heathen," that I did, attend. What it was about, I attended. That's what I'm telling you. So I did do that. But you know what? Big up to Sancha. On my birthday, Sancha made me an appointment at Nail Bar, Maya, and I went and got, my hands and feet did, and that was one. It was honestly a really treatment. Like it was a really big spa like a treatment I got. So big up to the ladies down at Nail Bar.
Yeah, I expect nothing less from them, because like I've been there a couple of times. Like the girl even put my socks on for me afterwards. That I just remember that being an experience like no one's ever done that from me before after a pedicure. So that was like just another level of like, wow. Thank you.
Yeah. No, seriously, I'd recommend it. Anyone who's looking for that. Maya's right. Like it's an experience. So, yeah. Sorry, I had to bore you about my weekend, but Suzanne Ingham says, "Awesome Monday, Jamel and Maya. Yes, weekends seem to be short every weekend. We're glad you're here. you were here for your birthday, Jamel. Thank you, Suzanne. And she says, contact me, Jamel. I'll give you a little remedy for your eyes. You mean without glasses? See, this is what I'm talking about. These are good people. Charles H. Jeffs II says, glasses are an accessory, Jamel. Welcome to the club. You just want me be representing the old folks club like you, Charles. Yeah.
You don't need to be old to have to need glasses, though. I mean, in your case, it might be because of it, but you don't need to be old to have glasses. I'm just saying.
Wow. You see what she
You could have started wearing them earlier so that you couldn't even, like, you know, it would just be in the progress, not because of age.
Anyway, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine, a good one today. We're going to discuss a trending issue that among many Bermudians right now involving non-Bermudians and small businesses, all right? Don't forget to subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. And before you do anything else, before we jump into the conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We want to take this from being such a sacred conversation to really giving everyone access to these conversations. Big ups to Bermuda Youth Connect. Unfortunately, I was unable to tune in last night, but I am enjoying the feedback. And you know what? I'm enjoying both the positive and negative feedback. Why? Because we get it on this show. If you're in media, if you're in this space, you're going to get it. But what I will say is use it to build and come back better. But you all did something groundbreaking. You got politicians all together who were opposing each other and asked questions. Regardless of what feedback you get, that is something that you should be proud of. And I'm happy that Maya and the TDH team could get behind it, support it. Hopefully this is the first of many, and hopefully we don't have to just do this when a by-election or general election is called. This is a way we can probably have a minister and the shadow minister on to discuss certain things. So let's keep it going. Again, props and congratulations. And I will watch it hopefully today, but I definitely just want to give those young people props. And I hate saying young people. I just want to give those fellow citizens, those fellow Bermudians props for moving forward and getting people into that space. I think it actually also puts people like the Premier under pressure to get in the room with those on the other side.
Yeah. Indeed, man. I was very excited and thrilled because it's not an easy feat to do to get all the candidates together. I mean, they've been trying to like put something together like this since the 2020 general election, right? So like to continue their path as well, like that's what I love to see, that this group has stayed since they came in and they are still pushing limits and making new bounds. So kudos to them for real for taking up a task that other entities couldn't do.
Indeed, indeed. Well, let's jump into today. So Maya, audience. Well, there was a story that kind of split. I wouldn't say it split Bermudians because based on responses on Twitter versus Facebook, it was quite clear who the Bermudians were and who weren't. But the Royal Gazette actually had a story titled "New Business Targets People Too Busy to Grocery Shop." Rebecca Bateman, she's a Londoner. She set up a business in Bermuda as a non-Bermudian and had hurdles. She said before launching Burmese Recipe Box, she had to set up a full limited company and then apply for a work permit for herself. She said she had no idea that before she can even get started on any business activity, in some ways it was a challenge to get a work permit when you work for yourself. And in other ways, it was actually easier. She launched Burmese Recipe Box a year ago, delivering fresh ingredients already pre-portioned and prepped for the customer to cook, along with recipe cards with simple instructions. Now, Ms. Bateman is getting ready to go on a meal prep arm of the business, targeting people who don't have time to grocery shop or cook. Running Burmese Recipe Box has been fun. Okay, let me read a bit more. Says she got the idea for the business from her life in London. When she first got married, she and her husband only knew how to make 4 recipes between them. He knew how to make something, and yeah, whatever. But anyway, the issue many people have is how is a non-Bermudian able to set up such a business using the Bermuda name when the recipes have nothing to do with Bermuda or its culture. So here's your question of the morning. What are your thoughts on non-Bermudians using the Bermuda name and people may say, well, it's Burmy, not Bermuda. Let's be honest. Burmy was slang really created by Black Bermudians, right? And if I'm not mistaken, the first real business or website to use the term Burmy was BurmyNet, Brenton Richardson. Why that wasn't copywritten or trademarked, I don't know. But what are your thoughts on Non Bermudians using the Bermuda name and culture to sell their product services? But also, Maya, you know how you reported about protected classes, job categories, like bartenders and the like. Now, I don't have that list in front of me, but I want to ask, yes or no, audience, yes or no, should there be protected categories for Bermudian entrepreneurs? Should there be because look, we just had the Honorable former Minister of Finance, Curtis Dickinson on, and we spoke about foreign investment into Bermuda. But we were talking on a bigger scale, right? We were talking about, reinsurance and maybe captives and the like. We weren't talking about small businesses that, opportunities that Bermudians can take advantage of. So two-part question. What are your thoughts on Non Bermudians using the Bermuda name and culture to sell their products/services? But also, should there be protected categories for Bermudian entrepreneurs? What are your thoughts on this?
Question before we move forward. The yes or no question, should there be protection categories for Bermudian or non-Bermudian entrepreneurs?
Say it again.
Non-Bermudian entrepreneurs or Bermudian entrepreneurs, protected categories?
Well, protected categories for Bermudian entrepreneurs, meaning that the categories are protected for Bermudians only.
Okay, so like only Bermudians could have these. And, correct. Okay, got you. Okay, all right. I want to take a stab at the first question though, where it says, in terms of having a Bermudian name, should non-Bermudians put no? Like, I feel like it's kind of like, for me, it's a no. I don't think that you should have a Burmy name in your what's it called? Sorry, in your business, because you are not Bermudian, and obviously it can be so confusing. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I think what I found from Twitter immediately when I was reading some of the quotes and remarks, when it was brought to the attention of this business. Burmy recipe. And it just, everyone mostly immediately thought like, well, how is she going to sell Bermudian recipes? Mm-hmm. So immediately it was the assumption that she was selling Bermudian recipes. I went through her Instagram page. I went through the business page all the way back down when they started. There are no Bermudian recipes. I went to the website and saw what meals they were coming up with. There are no Bermudian recipes. It is a program that I've seen out here in Canada. It's called Good Foods. It's basically the exact same thing. They package meals, put a little recipe in it. I can grab one off my fridge because I actually took one from my friend recently because she didn't want it. And then you give it to you and it tells you everything how to make it. So yes, it is for those who don't want to grocery shop, who don't want to leave their house and probably don't really know much about cooking, to be quite honest, but it does teach you. So that is it. But because of the name, it's definitely like confusing. And also because of the name, when people might want to search something, let's say on Google, whatever, Bermudian cuisine, Burmy foods or whatever, that might be the first thing that pops up. And is it fair? That's another question. Like, is that fair for actual local Bermudian businesses selling Bermudian food? If someone comes new to the island and they don't know what this is. So I think it was kind of a slip up to have that name, because I don't think it also represents exactly what she's doing, unfortunately. Because like, again, people are confused by the name, thinking that it's going to be recipes when it's not. It's just the everyday meals. And
I just want to go further. Like what Maya's saying is, we obviously, if we're going to discuss it, we went to kind of investigate, well, what are some of the recipes? Because some people on Twitter, it seemed, hadn't even seen what it is she's selling. So yes, I would have thought, she's selling recipes like cassava pie or codfish. You would have thought that it was Bermudian stuff. No, she's just using the name Burmy. So when I went on the site, you would all see nothing really reflects it. You got Mediterranean chicken bowls with couscous and yogurt sauce, Baja snapper with yellow rice and salsa, right? Cajun chicken burgers, mushroom penne with truffle cream, and an Italian salad. So Indonesian-inspired beef noodles. Now, keep in mind, there's HelloFresh, I think, in the US. Like, there's many businesses like this. I think that the name could be misleading, and I can see why it would agitate many Bermudians. Look, I want to be clear, because we live in as someone said to me late last night, we live in a time where everyone loves to get offended, right? We live in a time where everyone wants to throw names out like xenophobic or any stuff like that. At the end of the day, sometimes the truth is the truth, and it hurts just because you disagree with it. That doesn't mean the truth shouldn't be said and it's wrong. Let me say that again. Sometimes the truth is the truth, and it hurts, not because it's wrong, but because it doesn't align with what you believe, how you feel, and it pretty much hurts your feelings. The truth and fact of the matter in this, right, is I honestly am open to business. I think that anything that's going to create jobs and opportunities for the greater population should be a good thing. But I also look at it at the other side. When people come in, especially have more resources, find loopholes, and get ahead of Bermudians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know beyond what I'm reading in the Royal Gazette story and what I've seen on her website. But the first thing that came out of this for me, Maya, and audience was maybe we should have some protected categories that if someone wants to start a business, it can't be something like what's the business where people deliver food like Hooked or Sargasso, like Hooked and Sargasso. Like there should be Bermudian kind of like you can't come and start this. Even maybe something like this, because I swear we had someone on the show who already does something like this, right? A guy. He does meals for people.
There's definitely a lot of meal preppers. Yes, Bermudian meal preppers.
Yeah. We had someone on the show like that before. But let's go to the audience real quickly, Maya. Should there be protected categories for Bermudian entrepreneurs? Should Bermudians be able to only have that market? What are your thoughts? WKD Lama says yes. What are your thoughts on non-Bermudians using the Bermuda name and culture to sell their products/service? And David Michael
false
Wilson
advertising.
False advertising.
Yes, that's the word.
You think the name makes it false advertising?
A bit. But I don't think but I feel like only Bermudians would know and feel that.
Right.
Because of how we use that language and that terminology. It's in our culture. So someone else using it just probably thinks, oh, I have a recipe box that's in Bermuda. Bermuda recipe box. And the rest are just like, or Bermuda restaurant, and the rest are just like, are you selling Bermuda recipes in there? Because that's exactly what it looks like right out front. But obviously, if you do more digging, you'll see it. I will say that while doing digging on a page, that she does have a local. This is what it says on the website, that there's a local fisherman that they do use for their fish, and they get a lot of stuff from Pacheco Farms. Obviously, you also said that they hired 6 Bermudians as well for the business. So there's elements that I was looking for as well, and see how like sustainability as well. But yeah, continuing on with the conversation, those are just things that I found on the page.
Indeed. Okay. Well, Shana Smith says a business like this already exists, Island Fresh. Was that the person we had on that time? Karen Simmons says the communication about the business is misleading and confusing. Kathy Ann Painter said it was creative marketing, but misleading. Derek Hendrickson says, wasn't she also part of Island Fresh before this new business? Well, I did hear people say, I don't know if that's fact, but I did see some people say this business already existed. She worked for a similar business previously.
Did she?
Yeah, that's what I saw. But again, I don't have that. Traveling Trotty also says Island Fresh is another service similar to this already set up in Bermuda. Yep. Now, this is interesting. Shamari Sky says, I agree. Flash, Maya. Shamari Sky says, I agree, but only if Bermudians also stop using other cultures' names and culture to sell their products as well. Well, give us some examples, because off the top of my head, I can't think. So what other cultures do Bermudians, not Jamaican Bermudians or Trini Bermudians, or whatever, but what other cultures do Bermudians use outside of the annoyance when I hear Bermudians speak with Jamaican accents? What? Give us an example of this, because I can't think of. Do we have like something that stands out? Like, can you think of anything, Maya?
I'm literally racking my head right now, trying to think of.
I know there's got to be some, because I'm thinking. I mean, Bermuda's small, and I think people like to take a twist on things, but I can't think off the top of my head. So, Shamari, if you can give us something that you're referring to, David Michael R. Wilson, he says, what about it is Burmese related outside of the ingredients?
The fact that it's in Bermuda, I think that is literally the only thing that is, and then maybe the fact that they have local fishermen that I brought up, maybe, so local Bermuda produce they try to get from the farmers as well. So from the website, what the article also said, they try to work hand in hand with locals to get the products and the food for their boxes.
Okay. Cherie Dill says, we should encourage all business in Bermuda that contributes positively to our economy and society. The name does feel like appropriation, so may be in poor taste, but I think otherwise a new business setting seems like a good thing that can only add to the options available to us. It's interesting because I'm like I said earlier, Cherie, I'm open. Like when it comes to business, I'm open. If they're going to create opportunities and jobs for Bermudians, I think that it's a good thing. I mean, we just had Curtis Dickinson on speaking about foreign investment into the island, but that was based on a larger scale. That was based on, larger businesses that, produce millions and billions into our economy that should be able to benefit Bermuda and Bermudians. I think this is a bit different. And I think, it's almost like we say, well, we need more people in Bermuda. Yes, facts, we do. That will drive costs down. But we also have to ask ourselves, at what expense to the Bermudians that are already here, right? Do we do that? That's why Jason Hayward usually comes out and Maya reports protected job categories. This is why the question on the screen says, should there be protected categories for Bermudian entrepreneurs as well? Like, should there be specific areas like delivery services or cab drivers or certain things that are protected for entrepreneurs only? I think we do need to give this a serious look. I know we need foreign investment. We need more people, but we also need to stop Bermudians from leaving. We also need to give Bermudians the best opportunity to succeed in the very country they love and want to be in, or else you'll have more in Toronto and the US. Just saying.
Can I also say this? Because I saw a comment too on Twitter, and the person said they're a bit confused over, the disagreement from the community, because couldn't we as Bermudians go to the UK and set up a business?
I saw that.
So that was also just another, hindsight on looking at what's going on and what people are able to do in terms of, having a non-Bermudian though, and her setting up this business here. I would agree, and I think a lot of people agree, like they don't like the optics of how it looks, but if it does serve a purpose to more Bermudians and does more good, then, there are things that our government has been saying that we need. They're like you just stated, we need more people here. We need more job opportunities. Would I have loved for Bermuda to be able to set this up and have it for themselves? If Island Fresh does do the exact same thing, I would really like to know, do they just meal prep, or do they send out the meals for people to cook like this person does? I want to know the difference, if there is. If someone can mention that. But yeah, like you said, it would be nice for Bermuda to have been the one to have an operation to set it up here. But now that we have a non-Bermudian, how can this benefit Bermudians?
You know what I'm interested in? When we're talking about politics, there's so many people vocal about different issues that impact, maybe feelings and more lifestyle versus actual legislation and policies that impact the entire island. And I'd like to hear from those from a political perspective. And I'll tell you why, based on this question right here. Talent TJ Clark says, I need more information on the specifics of how this business was set up, but also if she was connected to a similar business owned by locals, then stole the idea and used info from the other business to start her business, and that needs to be looked at. I think this is a serious issue here if these things are being said. Look, I'll be honest, I believe in free market. I am very different in that respect. The TDH team will tell you, if someone decided to start a morning talk show tomorrow or any kind of morning show, I'm okay with it, because I'd say to our team, guys, we need to step it up. That's how I believe in responding. If Maya decided, hey, we're going to start a different talk show and compete, I'd be upset. That's my right hand. But at the end of the day, this is free market. We can't just get mad when it doesn't go our way. However, I do think it's some sort of appropriation. I do not like the idea of snake-like behavior if what's being reported or shared is true. And I do think that, most jurisdictions do have protections for, look at the US, because we all think that you can just go in the US and get a job and start this or that. No. In certain respects, if you're there just to work on a work visa, if you are in the US, then they have to see if an American applies and is qualified for the job as well before you can get it in some respects. So it's not like these are Bermuda specific rules or laws. But I do think there should be some things to protect the integrity um, of Bermuda and Bermudians. Let's go through these last few because Maya's got the news break to do. Then we'll come back. Trido says, I guess the key is net positive. Positive contributions outweigh potential downside to Bermudians. For this business, what are the perceived downsides? Let's hold that one and come back because I'd like to discuss that. Talent TJ Clark says, local setting up a business in the UK is different. We are UK citizens. I like that comeback. And Shana Smith says, Island Fresh buys all the ingredients portions it out for you and gives you the recipe cards. I've used it several times. All right.
Yeah, I just did a little quick search on them. It is play for play. I think it's about the same thing. They do the same service.
All right. Hold your thoughts, audience. Maya's got to do the Daily Hour news break. We're going to continue this conversation, but I'm enjoying it. I appreciate it. And maybe we can reach out to whoever oversees the work permit or this section or department. Maybe we can even get some words from our friends over at the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation just to see, understand or learn how this is able to happen. And does it really impact Bermudians being able to move forward as entrepreneurs as well? All right. Daily Hour news break. Here we go.
All right. Good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour news break brought to you by the great people at People's Pharmacy. Starting out the news this morning, things that we can't seem to stop talking about because they continuously happen on the island, and hopefully people are still engaging in this and understanding how devastating it is to be happening on such a small island. So 3 persons arrested in connection with a firearm incident. So this happened shortly before noon on Friday, September the 13th. Acting on information received, police attended a residence in Warwick Parish and recovered what appears to be a firearm and ammunition. Now that's all the information they could give at this time. There was no further information from that point.
All the firearms. Look, clean up the streets, get them off the streets.
Yeah. Well, in other news, 6 of the 13 government ministerial fleets are not in operation. So Lieutenant Colonel the Honorable David Birch, Minister of Public Works, provided an update on the introduction of the electric vehicles that the government fleet will be getting and implementing. So he put some money next to how much this is going to cost for us to get these electric vehicles, which is something that they've been talking about for a while, wanting to implement.
With this said, I'm pleased to announce the further expansion of the government's EV fleet in partnership with Auto Solutions Limited by the purchase of 13 Hyundai Kona EVs to replace the government ministerial fleet at a cost of $579,996.95, or $44,615.15 per car. As I've said before, the current cars frequently break down with increasing regularity. Replacement parts to carry out the necessary repairs are becoming a challenge to procure due to the age of the vehicle and can take months to be imported. In fact, out of the 13-car fleet, 6 are out of service due to maintenance and repairs.
The biggest takeaway from that, audience, hear me out when I say this. Maybe it's because small town and Bermuda is really small, or it could be every reason why politics will never benefit Black people. Hear me out. There was a press conference that Wayne Furbit done last year involving ferry service. And I said, who's that in the background? Is that Michael Fay? It sure was Michael Fay. And I said, well, why is Michael Fay in here? He lives, I guess he was impacted by the ferry. I'm not going to say where he lived. Just now, you saw Mr. Smith there. I think he owns Auto Solutions, former OBA MP as well, in the background. And it hit me. And it's everything I always say about politics. But Black people, you don't listen to me. What do I know? I just have a free mind and I'm not aligned with anyone politically. So what do you care? Because I don't make you feel good. But what I see from this is Black people, politics doesn't give us anything. You heard the number 600,000 to that company? So this is what I'm telling people. The OBA didn't lose in 2020. They still winning. They're still making money. They're still involved. They still control stuff. But we got a few black people that get into politics, they take care of themselves, and the rest of the people are suffering and struggling. When will we understand that economically, we just don't? I mean, we've talked about this. And I'm sorry for going off on a tangent, but to see that, it's like you have political power, but you still need to come to us. Just saying. Just saying. Think about it.
Well, in other news, and Jamal mentioned it this morning, but it was very much so a milestone for Bermuda Youth Connect, getting together all 4 candidates for the upcoming by-election. So last night, if you missed it, good chunk of people, almost 600 people plus, actually tuned into this live discussion about all of the candidates, what they're planning to do, and then the youth panel that followed afterwards. So here's just some quick glimpses of some of the things that were said by 2 candidates here, the Honorable Mark Bean and also the Reverend Dr. Emily Gail Deal. So first, we're going to start with Mark Bean. This was in reference to community building and how we can kind of establish that and bring that back up. So here was his remark.
What is a community but a combination of various families and extended families? And so if you have a breakdown of the family unit, naturally you're going to have a breakdown of the community. And so once we identify that as a problem, then the solution is to go right back to its source and strengthen the family unit. Man needs to start to be man. Women need to excel in their woman and motherhood. That is the foundation of what keeps our society together. That is our glue.
Did he expand on that comment? Like, what does men being man and woman? Well, he said extending the motherhood, but not all women want to be mothers, which is their right. But did he expand on either of this?
He talked a lot. Sorry, he talked a lot throughout just about wanting the family unit to be back together. So that was really his major stance on a lot of things. Was just like it starts from inside the family. We need to be together. We need to sort out our own problems first, and then give our knowledge what we can to each. Whatever we are capable of giving to the community. So that was his point. And this one from the Reverend Dr. Emily Gail Deal, this one had to do with exactly what she believes is needed for constituency 36 up there in Sands.
I believe that constituency 36 needs to continue to come together. We've had the opportunity to meet so many people, and as I'm listening to Mr. Neblett, I'm wondering how much experience he really has with the Sands community, because we have an extremely rich history. The Sands community has historically led this island in many things in order to improve the quality of life for people throughout Bermuda.
Oh, I love that. She went at Mr. Nebula. Now I want to really make sure I watch it. She's like, that sounded like some presidential stuff. Like, no, I actually want to know how much he knows about the community with what that nonsense he just said. I'm putting things in her mouth, obviously, but that's how I took it. Yeah, Don King, let's do this.
I will say in response to that, though, Mr. Neblett did have a chance to say something back, and he did mention that we know that he has a background as being an officer, policeman, done a lot of things within the police force. And so he said that he's been a part of that community for 15 years. That was his patrol spot for 15 years. So he knows that constituency, he says, like the back of my hand. And he went on to say a lot more, but in his defense there, he did come back to that response. But definitely tap into, listen to the whole thing and see what all of them had to say about each and every topic point. And it was a good discussion to flow through with the candidates for them to say what they had to say. Looking back at feedback, I think a lot of people would have liked more to be said about the constituency. But when you try to get questions from audience, like it generalizes to the whole of Bermuda sometimes, and we kind of need to narrow back into the constituency itself. But it was nice to see where the viewpoints stand as well on crucial topics that we have on the island.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Indeed. All right, let's go over to some sports right now. So Kamiko Smith, Nick Jones, and Eric West have recently qualified for the upcoming Butterfield Bermuda Championship. Now, the tournament will take place in November. And Minister Darrow said, watching these elite athletes compete at such a high level is inspiring and shows us what can be achieved with perseverance and passion. As minister, I had my dual hats on for tourism and sport, and this was a proud day for me. The ministry has been steadfast and committed to providing support for all our elite locals, athletes, and we continue to invest in our sports stars so that they can successfully compete at the world level.
All righty. Good stuff. Congrats, gents.
Yes, indeed for them. And it's going to be quite a tour for them. I can't wait. And in your weather today, it's looking like a few showers, truthfully, and some strong winds. And we're here near 81. So we're getting lower and lower in the temperatures now.
All righty. You got the days of the year for us?
I do have the days of the year. Today is Family and Community Day. So pretty good day to have. Family and Community Day is a special time to bring families and communities closer together. This day emphasizes the importance of spending quality time with loved ones, building strong family bonds, and fostering community spirit. So it serves as a reminder to take a break from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and focus on the people who matter the most to us.
All righty. I want to ask the audience, what is your favorite community event in Bermuda? What is your favorite community event in Bermuda? Maya, what's your favorite community event in Bermuda?
I think we're gonna have to go to the egg show. I'm gonna have to go to the egg show. Yeah, I love being around people at the egg show and the families and watching everyone try to drag their kids around and try to get every single snack and picture and face painting. So yeah, I love that. I love watching that.
I would say, I mean, the easy answer would be cop match, but I'm actually gonna go. My favorite community event in Bermuda is actually gonna be something that's new, and I'm gonna say Bacardi's vendor, Black Vendors.
Black Vendors Market.
Yeah, in February. I really like that. I love that event. Having been to it, having been part of it, I really just love to see people out there working and supporting themselves, right? So that's mine. What is your favorite Bermuda community event, audience? Charles H. Jeffers II says, Bermuda Day, we're all winners. Charles, if I were running that half marathon, I'm not close to being a winner, but I get your point. And I say that, not that I'm not coming first. I'm not sure I'm finishing it. So Maya, well, get me on a scooter. Come pick me up on halfway or quarter way through. I'd go with Restaurant Week, says David Mike Wilson. He says that's his favorite community event. 24th, like a true Bermudian, not Bermuda Day. 24th of May, says Suzanne Ingham. What else, audience? What's your favorite Bermuda community event? What's your favorite Bermuda community event? What are some of you? Harbor Night's a good event, right?
That's true. Yeah, I would definitely plug that in.
Yeah, Harbor Night. What else? I think you've got.
Would any of the carnival fets be considered community events?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it brings the people together. It brings a sense of community.
Yeah, I definitely say.
Yeah, I mean, what else? I mean, maybe the Labor Day marches. Pride's now part of our community events. I think there's a lot that we do. You know, they always say, there's nothing to do in Bermuda. I think our community events will tell us different. Good Friday, yes. Good Friday, says Kathy Rogers.
Oh, I changed my answer.
On the egg show to Good Friday?
Yes, on the egg show to Good Friday. Good Friday, yeah, that's. But I feel like egg show definitely the whole Bermuda. But Good Friday, that's family right there. That's family. Yeah. That's what I really, yeah.
Okay, I also like the Christmas boat parade. I love that. Yeah, I love that.
They need to take it back to how great it was back in like 2009. Because back in them days, I don't know, maybe because I was a child too, but everything just felt brighter.
It seemed like more boats. I'm showing that Bell at Eastern County Games. Yeah,
yeah.
Eastern Counties. Yeah, I'm glad you put Eastern before that because these Westerners trying to act like they're on our level. All right, audience, we're gonna take a quick break. They've extended. Bermuda Trivia will be shot this Saturday, so you can still send an email if you'd like. But we'll be back in 2 minutes 31 seconds to continue this rather important conversation. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
Summer is almost here. Dive into the season with dog floats and dog pools. Enjoy 20% off West Paul's dog floating toys and shop our life jackets for safety in the water this summer. Get all your summer needs before the holidays and events begin. Don't forget to stock up on poo bags and check out Dicky Bags, the poo bag holder that locks in the smell until you can dispose of it. Remember, even dogs need sunblock, so visit Noah's Ark today, Bermuda's most trusted animal supply store for all your summer essentials, and ask us about our rewards program.
You think you know Bermuda? Well, put your knowledge to the test on Bermuda Trivia, the game show. Whether you're a history buff, a culture connoisseur, or just love your island and people, this is your chance to shine. Show off your skills, win cash prizes, and prove you're the ultimate Bermuda expert. Don't miss out. Your spot on Bermuda Trivia awaits. To be considered as a contestant, register by sending us an email at contact@bermudatrivia.com. Registration deadline is September 10th.
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Maya Palacio. I am Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Please do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's get right back to it. This morning, folks, if you've just tuned in, we were discussing a business called Burmy. Hold up, let me get the name. Burmy Recipe Box has created quite the conversation, and it's trending throughout Bermuda's social media platforms. And a lot of people have an issue with it. Some people feel it's cultural appropriation. Some people think it doesn't reflect, Bermudian recipes, which it doesn't. Others find it interesting that this person was able to set up a company and apply for a work permit for herself. Now, again, we had Curtis Dickinson on last week. The Honorable Curtis Dickinson spoke about, the pros and cons of foreign investment into the island. What I think many people won't realize is they probably don't agree that this is the kind of foreign investment he was speaking of. This is more on the small business scale. So the question of the morning is, what are your thoughts on non-Bermudians using the Bermuda name and culture to sell their products and services? So that would be pretty much the Burmy in there. But we're going to put another question as well. That was the question earlier, is what are your thoughts on non-Bermudians starting small businesses in Bermuda? Like, what are your thoughts? I mean, small businesses don't create as much jobs and opportunities for others, right? Possibly they can, but something like this isn't going to do what, some of the big reinsurance companies do, not just in terms of revenue, but in terms of employment opportunities and community opportunities, being out there working with KBB and others, right? So what are your thoughts on non-Bermudians starting small businesses in Bermuda? But also, I want to get back to this. Should there be protected categories for Bermudian entrepreneurs only? Should there be protected categories? Maybe, we don't have it right now. Maybe it's lawn service, or if they want to start the bartending, I think bartending is a protected class for being an employee for Bermudians, but maybe if they wanted to do what's it called? Mobile bartending thing. Let us know your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Maya, you love this conversation, don't you?
I'm really thinking hard right now, because thinking about what we need economically on the island, what I would love to see Bermudians have first. Mm-hmm. And in my mind, I'm already building okay, well, what would a policy look like that will support the first question, which is, what are your thoughts on non-Bermudians starting small businesses in Bermuda? Mm-hmm. And would it be something like if somebody did want to start a small business, say non-Bermudian comes in, I want to start this small business. It's XY. Let's just call it XY. It's XY. And so is XY held off for maybe a 2, 3, 4 year period until a Bermudian wants to do that exact same business within that time frame? like, and then if they don't, then that non-Bermudian can set up that small business if it's not already on the island. Like, I'm just thinking of things like that. But would I want that? I don't I don't know. I don't think so. But if it's going to provide a lot of job opportunities and other people will feel okay with it, then okay, I'll be open-minded to hearing more about it. But it all depends on whether or not Bermudians actually want to even start these businesses sometimes before, like, it just escapes us and then we don't have it. Because how do we know if something's going to be beneficial if we don't have it on the island first?
Yeah, but what if the business, like, I guess audience putting this out there because there are some people in the audience that this person worked for another business which is Bermudian and kind of the idea. What if there's already a business like it on island and someone comes? Like, do we believe in competition makes us better and letting other people enter the market regardless of where they're from?
Our size is just, you got to really take in consideration Bermuda's size. We're really small, and so bleeding money into some other pocket that's not Bermudian when you already have a business that's set up so long, like I get competition does make us better. I agree. But I think there still needs to be something put in place to protect Bermuda. Like, we should always be looking to protect Bermudian businesses first. So that's how I see it.
Okay. What are your thoughts, audience? It's a tough one because I'll pick on Kristen White in St. George, right? She does tours, right? Could you imagine someone who gets a work permit to just do tours because they came to Bermuda, liked it, loved the tour, loved what they learned? Could we, you know what I'm saying? Would that be something we'd be okay with if it was never done?
No.
That's been done if they've seen it. But that's something. I'm going to pick one, but I love this person and I like the business. But the Bermuda Perfumery, Lily Bermuda, she's not Bermudian. So do we have an issue with that? I think it's a great business. I think it adds great value to Bermuda. Again, I'm not taking sides and telling people what to choose. Let me be clear, because I don't want people to think I'm not trying to trash anyone, but I really want us to think deeply. I'm not trying to call out hypocrisy or anything. I want us to think deeply because I think this is a thin line. I understand, what we're all saying in this discussion. I do. But I want to know where do we draw that line? Where do we say, well, this is a protected category, it should only be for Bermudians? That's where I'm trying to get with this. I don't want to take a circular conversation where we're angry in this moment and then things go ahead. Like, do we need to push the minister for legislative change in this respect?
Go
ahead, man.
So now you got me thinking when you brought up Lily Bermuda, because they also use Bermuda in the title.
I mean,
so now I feel like I have to go back.
Business that existed that I believe she purchased, though. So I don't think it's something she started, right? So it's something she purchased, but I think that's the difference in it. But I don't know, Maya. It's a tough one because I want to protect Bermudians. I want to see Bermudians excel as entrepreneurs. I really do. I love seeing Bermudians, doing well in spaces that they haven't had opportunities to excel in.
We have so many firsts. Go on, sorry.
No, I was just saying, how do we do it?
It's hard to, because I feel like in Bermuda we have so many first generation entrepreneurs as well, especially in the Black community. So building things from scratch is such a tough task. You're learning everything on your own. You know it, I know it. It's tough. And when people who, let's say, probably come from families away in different places who have done these things, have the resources, have the people, that have family who's done it before, they already got a leg up to make these things happen. So whether or not they could go through even a faster process, that's unfortunate reality of life. And so it might not be this generation of entrepreneurs who are going to make it as far, but the next one maybe, and the next one who can do it better, faster, have those resources at their fingertips from the work that the right now generation is doing. And I say that in regards starting up and setting up and trying to get it done before anyone else. It's a process.
Yeah. It's interesting. Shamari Talbot Woolrich, he says there should be legislation ensuring that Bermudian likeness is protected for Bermudians who start businesses. Can't use long tail gum bays to market your products. So I'm glad he brought up gum bays. I know some people were bringing up throughout social media over this, saying it's no different from how people have purchased, not purchased, but created things with our Gumbies on them and selling shirts with Gumbies on them, right? And there's no connection to Bermuda. Look, we can say it. I know there are people who have concerns about, the airport and the stores in the airport not having really any Bermuda foundation and connection. Again, where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line? Do we need legislation to protect Bermudian entrepreneurs? Yes, just answer yes or no. Do we need legislation to protect entrepreneurship for Bermudians? Would you be in favor of revisiting some form of legislation that prevents things like what led to this conversation, Maya?
From our discussion today, I'll say yes.
Okay.
I'll say yes. I would like to obviously flush it out more because maybe some entrepreneurs wouldn't want things. It really depends. But if you're saying that you're trying to protect me and it's going to help me in my business, then yes.
Okay. Here's the thing. I'm on the fence, and I don't like to be on the fence. I think I'm leaning toward conditions. And what I mean by conditions, right? You know how you go to the bank for a loan and you have to present a business plan? I think that a business plan should have to be presented to a board if it's a small business and something that you think a Bermudian can do. Okay, let me see your SWOT analysis. Let me see your finances. How is this going to be viable? How is it going to impact and grow the community, not just in terms of what you're offering as a product or service, but what you're giving to the community as far as, service and so on. I do think there should be some conditions.
Yeah,
I do think, and one of my concerns is what Bermudians have said for years involving just people and jobs. The hardest thing about Bermuda and having people come here to work on work permits is you can't ensure that money stays in the economy and flows in the economy because people are sending that money outside of Bermuda, right? So there has to be some connection to ensure a lot of that money is flowing in Bermuda's economy, right? So I think there should be some conditions, but what are your thoughts? Do you believe that legislation should be created to protect Bermudian entrepreneurs? Suzanne Ingham says absolutely yes. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says yes. Shawnette Bell says yes. And then Traveling Truddy says, what about the free market? Not everyone agrees with the free market, Traveling Truddy. And I can understand that. While I may agree with it, I get people who don't. Some people may feel like the free market has only benefited the 1%, if we're honest, right? So, and that's their right? Some people feel like the free market has only benefited those who came into the world with money or have easier paths to money. I mean, I'm not here to say whether capitalism is good or bad, but we got to take into consideration all facets of it, right? I don't know. It's interesting.
Oh man, it's such an interesting one because even thinking about legislation, I mean, who's making the legislation? Who's writing it? who's what type of entrepreneurs are actually going to benefit versus the other? It's all of that to consider because law has been put into books for decades, hundreds of years, forever, centuries. Doesn't mean every law is correct. Laws change eventually, and most of them should. So,
Rosalind Famous says perhaps another solution is giving Bermudian entrepreneurs even more incentives to accelerate their growth. Yeah, I mean, incentives could work. It's. I want people to feel comfortable knowing that they are allowed to feel how they feel. I disagree with no Bermudian who was upset about this particular story in the Royal Gazette. I understand it. I understand it completely. However, as someone in business who understands if we're in for free market, we may not be able to do this show because there may be a monopoly on media. See, when it works for you, it works. When it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
There was a time when if you wanted to start a radio station, you couldn't because you had to go to we already have too many licenses, and other radio stations will challenge that. Nah, somebody should be able to start a new radio station. That's free market. So we have to decide what we believe is best for us. I know some things are uncomfortable, make us unhappy, but we're going to take our final break. We'll come back, daily play, and we will wrap it up. Well, yeah. Oh, here she goes, Miss Competitive. We'll wrap it up, give our final thoughts on today's conversation. If you have any, please share them during this quick break, and we'll be back in a sec.
Did you know 3 out of 4 people say that they have a good understanding of life insurance? But do they really? When asked how much the yearly cost would be for a 20-year, $250,000 level term life insurance policy for a healthy 30-year-old, 80% overestimated the cost by 5 times the amount. Ready for this? The true cost for that policy is about $220 a year. That's as little as 66 cents a day, or $20 a month. So let's put this into perspective. Compared to other monthly costs, isn't getting life insurance a no-brainer? If you can trim back on some of these expenses just a little bit, it will allow you to dedicate the savings toward an affordable life insurance policy. Contact one of our life insurance agents today on the right policy for you.
Take a look at our walkthrough for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues, everyone who you communicate with daily. This is an important conversation. I think consensus, these are the things that we should be speaking to our local politicians about. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. New edition of the game show released tonight. And if you want to be a contestant, the next shooting is Saturday the 21st. You can send an email to contact@bermudatrivia.com. All right, Maya, are you ready? It's a Who Said It?
All right.
All right. This one, quote, one of the hardest things in life to learn are which bridges to cross and which bridges to burn. End quote. Do you need a hint?
Is it a poet?
It is one of the most successful women in television history.
Oprah?
Gee, that was
She
good.
was literally before you even started, I was like, I bet you it's an Oprah quote.
Yeah, it's Oprah. I love that quote because I grew up people telling us not
Don't
to
burn your bridges.
And I disagree with that highly. Some of those things need to be burned to the ground. Blow them up. I blow them up. We have this tendency to want to be liked. I don't wake up wishing people like me. I wake up wanting to give my best to the world so that I can touch and help somebody else's life. But whether they like me or not, that's neither here or there. I'm gonna say okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to be disliked. Let me be clear. I'm not trying to make people hate me or dislike me. But no, I'm not begging people to like me. Respect me. Maybe that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. All right, Maya, let's wrap it up. Real quickly, before you wrap it up, we did have a comment. Derek Hendrickson said, still on the fence, depends on what we are looking to protect. He said, should the small business market be in the 60-40 category? I meant to ask, does the 60-40 rule still exist? I meant to ask the audience, does it still exist?
I do not know.
Okay. But what are your final thoughts on the conversation, Maya?
I absolutely love these conversations. This is exactly what this show is for. It's one thing to, we always have to share our viewpoints when we can in the most respectful manner. But in this sense, in this show, I really love that we're able to get community involved and get these, questions that we have out there for all of us to talk about and discuss. Like, I love being able to engage in this way with our audience, to let us know how they feel, what they think should happen, what we think should happen, all of it together to try to figure out some sort of system that's going to better Bermudians and better us. So very, very interesting conversation. I think it's going to be something that maybe even kind of helps to catapult it forward to some more critical thinking, maybe in legislation, whatever it might come from, the topic that was brought up through Twitter. So thank you to the Twitter community as well for like bringing it up to attention to have us flush it out even more here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think conversations like this I love waking up to have these conversations. I think they're helpful. They're healthy. I just want what's best for the community, the greater community, the majority of the people, all the people, but especially the majority. I don't like the idea of telling non-Bermudians that they can't do business in Bermuda. I don't like telling anyone they can't do business, but I also want to ensure that Bermudians have, equity, right? Maya, you said something that really hit home. Like, there are people who they get greater starts than others, right? Generationally. And, Bermudians may have these ideas to do stuff and they don't have the funding or the support. And one of the things that we haven't mentioned today and said in this topic, we love to support others, but we have a challenge supporting each other. We don't want to see each other win. We are responsible for this too. Because if we know, oh, Maya's setting up this business, we tend not to want to support simply because we don't want to see Maya doing better than us. We have to fix things within our own community. We have to fix our own mindset towards one another as entrepreneurs. Oh, because we don't like something they said, even if they have a product or a service that can benefit us. Oh, well, I don't like her. I'm not supporting her business. You don't even know this person. You don't even know how they feel about you. But you're supporting them simply because you don't want to see somebody who you don't like their personality win. You can spend your money how you choose, but think about that. We have a role to play in this as well. I'm grateful for the contribution of everyone. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, share the conversation. Get it to as many people as possible. Props to Bermuda Twitter also for bringing the conversation to light, concerns on both sides. And I don't take anyone calling you xenophobic. I don't think it's nothing xenophobic about it. I think what you're doing is asking questions. How does this happen? What can we do to ensure it doesn't impact other Bermudian entrepreneurs? And what is the government doing to make sure that this is an open season? You've got some daily inspiration for us?
Yes, I do. Daily inspiration today is, it is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation.
Whoo! Woo! Okay. That was a very timely quote for today's conversation, Maya.
I know.
Yeah. I had nothing to do with that, folks. That was timely. But anyway, folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making this part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Maya Palacio. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.